Hello, Winds of Change student. We are now in week 3, so everybody's doing a great job. Continue with all the forum discussions. We're now quickly approaching almost halfway through the point of the course. This week we wrap up the week, and then you do have a holiday break after week 3. So I do encourage you to take a break that week, take some time off. I'm not planning to do anything in Moodle that week, so I'm going to take some time off too. Unless you have something absolutely necessary that you have to have an answer that day about a future project, you can still email me, but I would just wait until we get done with a week off. Enjoy that week off and enjoy the 4th of July. With this week, again, jump into that forum discussion early. We look at chapters 5 and 6, and what I'm going to do every week with the forum discussions is I'm going to kind of give you an option, because as I said early in the course, I want you guys to share with each other about what you learned about your models or the rip from today's headlines. So in addition to your comments on the chapters 5 or 6, I want you to perhaps tell a little bit about the model you're deciding to do each week, and if you're willing to post. If you did say, for example, the rich text pictures, you could do that one page, but just post it for the rest of the class in a post maybe by Sunday so the rest of the class can see it if you feel comfortable doing that. And I think we'll kind of learn from each other. Or as another option, if you don't want to do a post of the model, discuss something you found interesting about the rip from today's headlines article that you chose for this week. And this week, it's the social and cultural factors that we have to take into consideration when we're looking at the members of our organization or our stakeholders, and those things are changing all the time. Trends are changing all the time. So especially those that are in the business world, we have to make sure that we're targeting the right market, and in different international markets, you have to really adapt to different cultures. So it's something I wish I had spent more time doing when I was younger, to travel overseas. But we're kind of used to the way things are done in the United States. It's kind of interesting that we're one of the few nations that hasn't gone to the metric system. Well, it seems the rest of the world has. But that's one thing, that if you deal in international markets, you got to be ready to adapt to that metric system, because it's part of their culture. So getting back to the readings for this week, and that first chapter 5, the vision and strategy. I had the opportunity in my organization to be part of some committees recently, and we're working on a strategic plan for our future for our university. And we got everybody together, and we got the inputs, and we kind of recognize who we are at the market, but what is it going to take to get us to where we want to be, say, within 5 years from now? So setting a goal, and making sure that we're financially solvent, and how we're going to reinvest funds back into the university to make sure that we can continue growing. So, strategic planning is essential, and a lot of the strategic planning today is adapting to the change. How we're going to adapt to the change of regulation in higher education. How we're going to adapt to the change of students and the majors they want to take. How do we adapt to the change of the federal government telling us that we want to get kids through college faster because it costs so much money. So perhaps maybe we need to go to a 3-year plan as opposed to a 4-year plan. Does every class, or is every class needed to attain a degree? What are those most important things? I think in the United States, liberal arts is still valued very highly, and we value this at Baker because it allows you to engage in critical thinking. But sometimes, policymakers may feel a certain way, and you have to follow that, whether it's an accreditation agency or the federal government, which is giving you student loans to support the university. And that's just an example for my case. But I think some of the things I liked about Cotter's book, he points out, is with this vision, you clarify the vision for change, that you're moving in the right direction, even though it may be painful at first, and then you have to coordinate the actions of a lot of people, sometimes thousands of people. So this is going to involve budgeting and planning, and it all kind of ties back to that finance piece, because ultimately you have to be financially solvent and make good decisions to keep the organization going. So with that, he says, keep that message simple. You may even have to sometimes give leadership by example. So if you're going through a rough time, maybe as a leader you may have to cut back, may not be able to have a corporate jet or perks if you're laying people off, or if you're having to ask for cutbacks. And you have to explain, I think, the financial picture to them, get them on board to go with any changes. They gave the example in the textbook that we realize we need to move to some smaller offices, but for right now, we can't afford to get out of our lease, but this is part of our plan that eventually we're going to move to somewhere else in the future. So that's why we have to stay in these offices. Last thing I'll wrap up with kind of the discussion of the Cotter. When you think about our stakeholders, who are our stakeholders? It could be our customers, it could be our members, but when we're making any decisions and doing any planning, whether it's for projects or where we see the market headed, is this something feasible that we can do? I'm a finance guy. I like to use terms such as net present value, internal rate of return. This is something you may read about in your business analysis techniques as kind of a decision-making tool. You don't necessarily have to understand all the math with these things, but you have to be confident in the people that are helping you make these decisions, and that you have this information, that it is good information, and we feel confident about the direction we're taking with our strategic plan. So, other than that for the week, like I said, again, just make sure that you get everything in on time. Come the end of the week Sunday, we'll take a break for a week, but I'll talk to you online. If you do have any questions, send me an email. But otherwise, after this, have a great break, and I will talk to you online. Take care.